right, next up is relax on mat. So this is a raised cot. We prefer these because it gives the dog a really clear image of whether they're on or off the mat. They can pretty easily tell if they have a leg hanging off, as opposed to where on a blanket it may be a little bit more difficult for them to tell where the boundary is. You absolutely can use a blanket, a towel, or a dog bed instead of a raised cot like this. I would just make sure that it doesn't look like anything that you always have down anyways. So if you always have a dog bed on the floor, I wouldn't have it look anything similar to what that dog bed looks like, just so that we can maintain the idea of when I put the mat down, I want you to immediately come on it. And if we just have something similar or the mat itself down all the time, she won't just naturally know how to go on it right away and stay on it. You may lose a little bit of her being able to stay on the mat too. So I should be able to put the mat down, and without telling her anything, she should pretty much immediately hop on it. And then I am going to give her a treat, Diva, from up high all the way down to the mat, slowly. And the reason I'm doing this is I am encouraging her to lay down without actually asking her to, because in reality, I don't really care what it is she does on the mat as long as she stays on it. Eventually she will lay down because it's uncomfortable to do otherwise. But the slow motion, along with not using a marker word, so no YES, will help calm her down. And eventually, because the treat is always ending up on the mat, it's going to be easier and faster for her to just stay down there while she eats and wait for the next one to come, than just continuously getting up and down. I also want to take note, anytime I notice her do something like yawn, flop her hip, shake, anything like that, that is a little bit of a calming signal, maybe stretch, maybe she starts itching a little bit, something like that. Any kind of calming thing that you see, I would make sure to reward that as well, because we want them to be as calm as possible the minute that they get on the mat. So we want them to start calming down as soon as they put their feet on. A really good way to build this up to be a really nice relaxation behavior is having the mat out when you are watching TV at night. If you're all comfy, the lights are dim or dimmer, and you're just sitting around watching TV, you're comfy yourself, you just set up the mat on the floor and have a little bit of her kibble, maybe a little bit like half of her dinner or something, and just reward her intermittently for staying on her mat. That will help build up the value more, and also the environment around her. If it's calm, it will help also build in that calm. This is really nice for when you, for when you need to do something without a dog, but she really wants to be helpful, or her version of helpful, and you just want her to be with you, but not under your feet. You can just put the mat down and have her be there instead. So she's still technically doing something. She's not just sitting around and trying to get into stuff, but she's also not under your feet or getting into anything that she shouldn't be. So like you see, if she does get up and off, I'm just simply going to say oops and put her back on it. I am not going to reward her right away after I put her back on, simply because I don't want her learning the pattern of get off, get on, get a cookie, get off, get on, get a cookie, and for her to keep trying to get off in order to get her cookies. However, whenever we are ready, I can just say, okay, and toss a treat to get her off the mat,